Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome into another episode of the Loyal Media Sports Podcast. Also, this is a flight preview to the Las Vegas Raiders game that's coming up this Sunday. I'm joined by my co-host, Ali. How's it going today, bro?
I'm good. How are you doing, bro?
Doing good. Every week we bring you guys an episode of previewing the Jets game. And let me tell you right now, if you are watching this video, you are one diehard Jets fan because this is the darkest of times for Jets Nation. And if you are still interested to hear mine and Ali's takes on these games, then pat yourself on the back because you are a diehard fan. And when this thing gets turned around, which will be eventually, don't worry, you'll be thriving because you can say I was not on the bandwagon because I was supporting the Jets when they were 0-11 and the worst team in NFL history. So kudos to you. If you guys are enjoying this video, make sure you smash that like button. And if you're listening to this in your car or Spotify, wherever on the podcast, welcome in. So today we're just going to be previewing the Raiders and Jets game. We'll talk about what's going on with the Jets. There's a lot of things happening. Adam Gase talked about how he failed Sam Darnold. He admitted it, which is pretty wild. And Alex Lewis situation. So we'll get into all stuff that's coming out of Jets land. So with that being said, Ali, let's first talk about the whole situation with Adam Gase and Sam Darnold and what he said today to the media.
It's kind of surprising because he's more of a guy that hasn't really said much about it. Sam Darnold, he's just like, Sam Darnold's a guy, I think he's doing well or whatever it is. But this time he came out and was just like, I failed them. And, for a lot of reporters, everyone was just like very confused because they haven't heard that all season. I mean, last 2 years, we haven't heard him say anything of that and taking accountability at all. And for the first time, we actually saw that today. Is he sucking up to the Johnsons? Is that what's going on? Or is he knowing that he's out of here? We don't know. We have absolutely no idea. But yes, both of them had a terrible season. Darnold has had a pretty bad season even when he's on the field. Adam Gase, obviously, we're 0-11, so you can picture what we're feeling right now about Adam Gase. But, those comments are very frustrating. Those comments are very annoying because we wanted Sam Darnold to be that guy. We wanted Sam Darnold to be here for a long time. I don't even want to talk about Trevor Lawrence right now, all that stuff. But Sam Darnold was the guy that I wanted in the draft process. And the Jets had absolutely ruined him. Adam Gase ruined him. I know Sam Darnold has taken a lot of steps back, and I've said that multiple times. And I've shown all the film that he has missed. He's missing throws. He's missing reads. And it's very frustrating to see that. And I think he's regressing terribly. And I think the Jets are a lot at fault, and Adam Gase is at fault. So it was annoying to make that post and talk about how Gase is pretty much saying that I ruined Sam Darnold. I'm like, why is this guy on my team right now? Because you just ruined our possible franchise quarterback.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy for Adam Gase to finally own up to a mistake. We have not seen that from him. He always blames others, and now he took accountability and said, I failed Sam Darnold. And one thing I took away from it was it sounds like he's talking in the past tense, so it kind of seems like he knows that his time is up as a Jets head coach, which is very a good sign for Jets fans because there's a lot of us that in the back of our minds were worried that the Johnsons are going to give him another shot. And this kind of made me a little more calm because he did sound like a guy that is defeated. He understands that he failed his duty because he was brought here to do one thing, and that was develop Sam Darnold, make him become the next franchise quarterback for this organization. And, Adam Gase comes from Peyton Manning. Obviously, Peyton Manning, that whole situation is just bogus in my opinion because Peyton was already a great quarterback by the time Adam Gase got his hands on. But what we were expecting was, Peyton Manning thrived in Gase's system, so Sam Darnold will. Absolutely not. It's good to hear Adam Gase own up to his mistakes, like I said, because we've never heard that from him. So kudos to Gase for actually honing in on his mistakes and reassuring to Jets fans and apologizing to us because we deserve that as Jets fans. We've been going through hell for the past 2 years with this guy and making Sam Darnold look like he is. I mean, if you look at Sam Darnold as a quarterback throughout his career on the Jets so far, his rookie season, he showed promise. And I was really happy about Sam. I'm like, okay, second year, he's going to make a step, which he did. He improved in every single statistical category in his second year, more touchdowns, less picks, more yards. And then, third year, second year in the system. He looks like he doesn't belong in the league now. I don't know what happened. And that just comes down to coaching. It really does because Sam Darnold, in my opinion, is not a scrub. He's not a terrible quarterback. I just don't think that he has confidence in the system. He doesn't have confidence in himself, and that's strictly coaching. If you're a good head coach in the NFL, if you have a good offensive mind, you know how to get the maximum potential out of your players, and Adam Gase is doing the exact opposite with Sam Darnold. So, again, it's refreshing to hear him own up to it. Not the best news ever, because the fact is that he ruined Sam Darnold, and like you said, Ali, I don't want to get into the whole Trevor Lawrence situation, because me personally, I'm not getting obsessive over Trevor Lawrence because I don't want to be disappointed if we don't get him. I know there's a lot of Jets fans out there that are just, staring at Trevor Lawrence highlights when they go to bed, because I would be that way too, but I just don't want to do that because it's setting myself up for a major disappointment. I'm not saying we're not going to get him. There's a very good chance we do get him, but there's also a chance we don't get him, because we could win a game or two, or you never know what's going to happen. But that's my little take on that. So that's really what we have to say about the Adam Gase situation with Darnold so far. So let's get into the Jets-Raiders game that's coming up this Sunday. This was the first time I've ever seen a Jets injury report that has way more players on the injured report for the opposing team, which is pretty crazy. And it kind of scares me for the Jets, because we obviously, Jets fans, want to lose the rest of the season. So Adam Gase is fired and we can secure that first pick. So injury-wise, there's really not that many people banged up for the Jets. Alex Lewis, we don't know what's going on with that situation. For some reason, is not practicing, non-injury related. There's a lot of speculations that he was mad at Gase and he said something to a player and they're, being disciplinary and not letting him practice. The truth will come out with that eventually. But Ali, are you a little – it's crazy how we're flipping it over and we just want to lose. So, we're like, yo, Ali, are you worried that we're going to win? That's so terrible that we're saying that to begin with. But what's your take on this Jets-Raiders game on Sunday?
I mean, is it going to be like last year where we upsetted them? Is it going to be like that game where we Gase
We
decides?
blew them out last year, 34-3. Crazy game.
I mean, does Gase want his job back? Does he want to have that last 5-game win streak or whatever it is? And, it would be the worst thing that could happen to this organization if we win 5 games. But, for next game, man, I just want to lose, man. Derek Carr, I watched that Atlanta Falcons game last week with him, and I actually had him on my fantasy team, and that's why I lost this week. And he just sucked, man. That offense could not get going, and Atlanta Falcons just ran through them. They just ran through them, and I like Gruden as a coach. I think he'll come back, and this could be the game that gets them back on track, because they are a playoff team, right? So they're going to try to win as many games to get a better spot in that playoff race. So I think they're going to come out this week and they're like, okay, this is the Jets. Let's try to win this game to get back on track, because it's a win is a win, and no matter who is against. And they need the win because they should have won last week, and they need to win this week pretty much. So, I hope so. But, man, every game is so nerve-wracking because I don't know what the Jets are going to come out with every game, and who knows what game. I have a feeling the Jets are going to win some type of game this year, which scares me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. They're destined to get a W. I don't think the Jets are going to go 0-16, but it's very likely they do because they look really bad. I think that the New York Jets are actually tanking. They're not tanking, right? That word tanking is just a word to use because we're losing. This team is not going out there and losing on purpose. But what I mean by we're tanking is we're doing everything right. I mean, we're losing ball games to get the first pick, and we're playing the young guys, and the young guys are playing well and developing. Mekhi Becton is solidifying himself as a top 5 left tackle in the NFL as a rookie, which is phenomenal. You can't ask for more. Denzel Mims is becoming more of a stud every single week. Quinnen Williams on the defensive side of things is developing into a top 5 defensive tackle in the league. Foley Fatukasi and Jonathan Franklin-Myers, those two guys are really cornerstones of this defensive line for the future. Those 3 guys I mentioned, Quinnen Williams, Jonathan Franklin-Myers, Foley Fatukasi, those are the 3 guys we'll be building around. That's a really good core for that interior defensive line. Bryce Hall, rookie cornerback, is showing flashes. He's playing really well. Ashton Davis, he's getting some experience. So what I'm trying to say is, even though we're losing, you couldn't ask for a better situation for the New York Jets because we are playing the young guys. They're developing. And what we need to do in order to be successful is build a foundation and have all these draft picks become something, become players that we eventually extend, become part of the solution. And that's really good news for the Jets because it would be a disaster if it was the opposite. If all these rookies were still injured, because remember the beginning of the year, they're all injured. Unfortunately, Michael Pirine is on the IR, but he'll be back by the end of the season. But what I'm trying to say is I feel like it's the best case scenario for the Jets right now, what they're doing in terms of developing their talent while losing at the same time. And I honestly think that the Jets are in for a long season. Like what I'm trying to say is this was a long season for Jets fans to go through, but I feel like when we look back on it, it's going to be all worth it. And that's all determined if we get that first pick, obviously. Even if we get the second pick, it's not the end of the world, but obviously the first pick is what we all want. It's going to be a fun offseason, man. We have a lot of draft picks. We have a lot of cap space. Hopefully we'll be in the head coaching search. So it's just a fun time to be a Jets fan. I think for the long run, right now in this moment, not a fun time to be a Jets fan. And going into my Raiders and Jets preview real quick, I honestly feel like the Raiders are going to come out here determined to beat us, especially because John Gruden came over to MetLife last year and got embarrassed. He's not going to let that happen again. There's no way. That game was crazy last year. It was the defense and the offense just exploded, and the special teams. This team does have that potential, the Jets, but they're not going to do that. In my opinion, I think it's going to be, Josh Jacobs is banged up. There's a lot of players in the Raiders that's banged up, but it's going to come down to who's the better coach, and John Gruden is miles ahead of Adam Gase. So that's why I feel like the Raiders are going to win this game easily, because I feel like it's just going to be a coaching duel, and I don't have any confidence in this Jets football team. So that's really all I have to say about the Jets-Raiders preview. So that really does it for this episode and flight preview. Ali, do you want to say anything else about the game before we wrap things up?
There's obviously we gotta look at the young guys on the Jets, but a guy that I want to look at is Henry Ruggs on Oakland. I mean, I feel like everyone during the draft, Vegas. Ooh. I'm still kind of get used to that, but yeah, I mean, Ruggs, people thought he was a bust. People thought he was going to be a bust this year because people were comparing to CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy. But Ruggs has been pretty solid, man. And he looks really good. And I think that's a guy that I actually want to see on Oakland's offense. And I want to see him play in real life because, it would be cool to see him. I mean, he's putting up numbers every week. Derek Carr, he's becoming their number one wide receiver. And, they're an exciting team. They're a very exciting team. I think Derek Carr is bound to have a better game this week, but he's a quarterback that's on and off. And, the Jets secondary is not that great besides some young pieces which make mistakes. So I think this should be a huge Oakland win. I think it should be like 28 to 10, but we'll see what happens. But you guys should be rooting for a Jets loss, and I think everyone is. So let's get the loss. Let's tank.
Yeah. It's not my blood to root against the Jets, so I just go in there and just saying all right, whatever happens, happens. It's out of my control. But please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Comment down below your predictions of the game. If you guys are listening to this on Spotify or Apple, we appreciate you tuning into Loyal Media Sports Podcast. If you're watching it on YouTube on Jets Media, we appreciate you there as well. Stay tuned for more Jets content. There's a lot of things that we're going to be doing throughout the offseason, so make sure you stay tuned. If you guys did not know, me and Ali have a talk show every single Monday night on this channel. We just had one with TD Finns Talk last Monday, and then Jack is another guy that's on there. You guys know Jack very well, and we're excited to have a special guest on every single Monday, so stay tuned for that. There's a lot of content to be brought by me and Ali, so make sure you stay tuned. Check out Ali's brand new Instagram page, AA Offseason. He's going to be covering all the latest news for the NFL offseason, so if you want to be up to date, make sure you go check him out on Instagram. I'll leave that down below in the description. And yeah, that does it for this video and podcast. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Let's go Jets, I think. Hope you guys have a great night. Peace out.